Hello everybody from Plant Reviews UK. Today is the 15th of September and I'm talking today about Jasminum abyssinicum, or at least the plant that I received as Jasminum abyssinicum, because I found some descriptions that I don't think completely match with the plant. Anyway, I'll talk about this as Jasminum abyssinicum and tell you a few differences I found with my plant. First of all, Jasminum abyssinicum is the Latin name of a species often known by the common name of Forest Jasmine, and the Latin name comes from the Persian word yasamin, that means fragrant plant, for Jasminum. That was Latinized from Jasmine, and abyssinicum, that is an adjective for Abyssinia, an old name that refers to the country that is now known as Ethiopia. All the other jasmines, this species belongs to the family Oleaceae, like the other true jasmines. Also, as the Latin name suggests, Jasminum abyssinicum, it is native indeed to Ethiopia, but not only to Ethiopia, it's native also to several other African countries, from Central to Southern Africa, down to the KwaZulu Natal in South Africa. The plant is also used as a medicinal remedy for wound in Kenya by the Maasai people. Jasminus abyssinicum is a pretty strong to slender, I found, woody climber that usually lives at high altitude mountain forest in Africa, climbing with stems up to 13 centimeters in diameter. However, as you can see, this plant, possibly because it's still a bit small, doesn't look to me much of a climber, but seem more like a bush. However, many plants, when they are small, they tend to be shrub-like, and then the shoots that they develop afterwards bring the plant to a climbing habit. So this still might be, even if a little bit different from my plant, it actually matches with the Jasminus abyssinicum description later on. The leaves are opposite and trifoliate, and so you can see actually that this is true for my plants. You can see 1, 2, and 3, and here as well 1, 2, and 3 parts of the foliage, 1, 2, and 3. So indeed, even this plant is trifoliate as described for Jasminum abyssinicum. However, I found that the leaves should be broadly ovate and also glossy green above, and hairless except for pockets of hair near the axis of the leaves. However, you can see, in my opinion, these leaves are completely hairy. And I'm not too sure if I can actually focus on the camera, but they have this kind of patina that is kind of velvety, and I'm not too sure if you can see it here. Possibly, yeah, you can see this kind of velvety structure on the leaf. That to me is the hairiness of the leaves. So if it is true that the Jasminum abyssinicum is not as hairless leaves, this is obviously not Jasminum abyssinicum. However, it's not an easy plant to find description. I found the description of this plant only in 2 websites. So really, I'm wondering, maybe the other websites might be wrong, because the nursery I bought this plant from, Vivarium Lavarosa, is really a good nursery, and I doubt that it would sell a plant mislabeled. Obviously, errors can happen anyway. However, in the description of his website, also Jasminum abyssinicum leaves description are called in Italian tomentose, that means hairy, with a hairy structure, and tomentose is a really word used in botany in Italian. I'm not too sure if in English there is a similar word, I have to check. The Flowers are produced at the end of the twigs or on the leaf axils. Here you can see actually both. Yeah, you can see these flower stems originating from the axil of the leaves. And here as well you can see the flower developing at the end of a twig coming anyway from the axil of the leaves in between the two leaves. So that's another thing that match with the description of Jasminum abyssinicum. The flowers are described as white and tinged with pink. However, you can see that is this plant. The whole flower is white, and actually the tubular flower, the tube is actually still greenish, and this flower is open already from yesterday. So it is still quite old from jasmine flower, because usually jasmine don't last more than a couple of days, and it's still greenish white. All trees might be variety that rather than being pinkish are greenish. For example, if I remember correctly, some Jasminum officinale have this, in some plants the flowers are greenish rather than the usual tinge of red in the buds. However, this might still be a difference between this plant and the description I found about the Jasminum abyssinicum. Another difference I found is that Jasminum abyssinicum is described to be with a corolla of 5 to 6 elliptic lobes and of oval shape. This really is not the case. You can see the lobes of the corolla of this plant are egged, and they are not oval. They are more like very ellipsoidal, very elliptic. I would say almost like a pinwheel, I would say. It is quite different from the description I found of Jasminum abyssinicum. Also about the Jasminum abyssinicum, the scent is described as sweetly scented. This I agree. This plant also has a very sweet scent. Not really overpowering. It's actually not particularly. Well, it's just one flower. It's not particularly intense for the jasmine standard, but it's not liked either. I would say a medium fragrance, and it is very sweet. Kind of remind me vaguely the polyanthum, but I would say even sweeter, kind of with a hint of honey and sugar as well. After the blooming, if the flower is pollinated, the berries develop, the fruit develop, and they are berries, about 7 millimeters long and fleshy. Possibly these here are berries. The plant arrived already with these structures, and I believe they are berries. I don't think they are flower buds. Usually flower buds in jasmines are different and very pointy. However, I will see in the next few days and keep you updated anyway. About the cultivation of this plant, as with other jasmines, it requires full sun and or at least partial sun, however ideally full sun, and needs to be cultivated in moist but well-drained soil, and ideally slightly acidic. I have still in the pot that I received from Viva Ilona Rosa, and I'll repot it soon, even if this plant is still pretty small. As you can see, I think this pot actually can serve to the purpose for still a while. I have this plant in the greenhouse in my allotment. I brought it here in my kitchen just to make a video, because obviously I have more silence here, so I can make a video. a lot easier. This plant obviously comes from Central and Southern Africa, therefore obviously is frost tender. This at least is my guess, because I couldn't find anything about the hardiness of Jasminum abyssinicum. But anyway, this is the second Jasminum abyssinicum I ordered. I ordered another one in a very cold period of the year. I think it was November or December, and the plants were stopped in the box. I don't know why there was a delay in the shipment, and this is actually one of the jasmines that died completely during the shipment because we were exposed to very cold temperature. So definitely I wouldn't risk to expose this jasmine to freezing, and I would guess instead go to cultivate this plant in USDA at least 10 if you want to grow it outside, because the plant completely died during this shipment. And in November, December, I don't think even the temperature were a lot were even like 0, or maybe just a couple of degrees before 0. So really I wouldn't recommend this plant in exposed to freezing condition. Other than that, the plant, if you like fragrant plant, it has a very nice fragrance. As I said, there's a medium fragrance, so probably if you have a greenhouse or a conservatory, you can appreciate the fragrance more, rather than if you grow it outside, for example, in USDA zone 10 and up. However, please remember that today I have only one flower, so probably if when the plant is in full bloom, the fragrance will be a lot more intense. However, I found other jasmines, like for example the grandiflorum or the sambac indoors, even with just one flower, you can really smell their beautiful fragrance. As usual, I hope that you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, it would be great if you can please give it a thumbs up, and if you like this video and my video on my channel and the other videos on my channel, it would be great if you can please subscribe. In this way you make YouTube staff aware that you like my videos, and YouTube in turn can promote my channel on the platform. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.